Hi everybody, Shannon Petrovich with Therapist Talks. What is narcissistic personality disorder really? There's a lot of conversation about narcissism. Some people express concern it's becoming a social media fad to talk about and armchair diagnose your ex, your boss, your parent, or sibling. Sure, there may be some of that, but I think the vast majority of those looking for information on narcissism have been genuinely hurt by someone with this disorder. When this happens, it's crucial to understand as much as possible about this personality disorder to get emotionally free, to heal, and to rebuild after the destruction that can happen from being in any type of relationship with someone with NPD. So let's take a step back and really look at this diagnosis to understand what it is and what it isn't. First, let's talk about all personality disorders. They differ from many other mental health issues in a number of ways. Specifically the scope, severity, onset, and pervasive and enduring pattern of them. Here are the criteria for all personality disorders. A personality disorder is an enduring pattern of inner experience and behavior that deviates markedly from the expectations of the individual's culture and manifests in two or more of the following areas. Number one, cognition, which means ways of perceiving and interpreting yourself, others, and events. Number two, affectivity, which means the range, intensity, lability, and appropriateness of an emotional response. Number three, interpersonal functioning. And number four, impulse control. Next, the enduring pattern is inflexible and pervasive across a broad range of personal and social situations. It also leads to clinically significant distress or impairment in social, occupational, and other important areas of functioning. The pattern is stable and of long duration, and it can be traced back at least to adolescence or early adulthood. It's not better explained by another mental disorder, and it's not attributable to the physiological effects of a substance, drugs or alcohol, or another medical condition like a traumatic brain injury. Narcissistic personality disorder has all of these qualities and is more specifically a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, need for admiration, and lack of empathy beginning by early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts as indicated by 5 or more of the following. Number one, has a grandiose sense of self-importance, exaggerates their achievements, talents, and expects to be recognized as superior without commensurate achievements. Number two, is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. Number three, believes they are special and unique and can only be understood and should only associate with other special and high-status people. Number four, requires excessive admiration. Number five, has a sense of entitlement, which means unreasonable expectations, especially favorable treatment or automatic compliance with their expectations. Number six, is interpersonally exploitive, takes advantage of others to achieve their own ends. Number seven, lacks empathy, is unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. Number eight, is often envious of others or believes that others are envious of them. And number nine, shows arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. As we can see right off the bat, narcissistic traits are present throughout our culture. In fact, these traits are applauded and expected in certain circles, while in other circles these would not be applauded. Many people could identify with some of these traits some of the time, or identify others with some of these traits some of the time. But when you take the full knowledge of the entire description of a personality disorder and the at least 5 of the 9 traits of the narcissistic personality, you realize it is a clear and specific disorder in its full-blown form. The estimates vary widely of how many NPDs there are in our world. And I would argue that we can't really know the numbers of people with NPD even in our country, much less in the world, since someone with NPD by definition doesn't believe they have a problem. So they'll rarely come into a therapist's office for help. They even more rarely present to a psychiatric hospital, and even more often would be identified or brought to therapy by those who are hurt by them, and thus they would not even be the primary client and would not get a formal diagnosis. When we look at this diagnosis and the traits, we can see how they are very destructive in all their relationships, how they're poorly equipped to be a parent, how they are very challenging to work with in a workplace, and that being in any relationship in any setting with them will be difficult at least and frequently traumatic. In addition, the covert iteration of the disorder means that all of these traits exist under the surface with a very adept false front, so that these traits are only obvious to some who are being most affected and not at all apparent to most of the people who interact with them. I hope this video has been helpful in clarifying the very muddy waters of the diagnosis of NPD. If you want a less clinical and more what it looks like in real life take on how this looks, see the video, The Covert Narcissist, or How Do You Know If You're Involved with a Narcissist? You'll find dozens more videos about NPD and many other mental health issues as well, and lots of insights and information and strategies to help you on your journey on my channel, Therapist Talks. If you've appreciated this video, please like, subscribe, and share it on your social media. You never know when something you share might help someone else who's struggling. Thanks for watching. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you again soon.